Black Panther's coming out. Do you remember a lot of the story from the first Black Panther movie?
Not really.
It's been a bit, right? So I know I
Yeah.
watched it a ton when it first came out, but
I've watched it
generally,
like 3 times at this point, and it's like any of the other Marvel movies. I see it and then I forget it until I watch it again.
yeah. Generally, the outcome of that movie was this idea that Wakanda was reclusive. They were not showing their cards to anybody. They looked like they were just a poor country, but really they were quite advanced, the most advanced that we know of so far. Let's throw that out there. And by the end, T'Challa decides we need to reveal everything we have and try to help those that we can by example. He was kind of awoken by Killmonger, who I loved Killmonger as a villain. Super well written because I don't know about you. I'm watching that. I'm kind of like, Killmonger's kind of right. like, like Thanos is kind of right too, Um,
Those are the
so
best villains.
I know. Yeah, when you're like, okay, like, the Empire, they were kind of creating order, and these freaking rebels are just messing things up right now. So go watch Andor. Uh, yeah. So, so that's kind of where we're at, right? So he kind of was awoken by Killmonger, who's saying like, "Hey, man, don't you see our people are suffering?" So he's seeing that like instead of using military might, I'm going to lead by example. That's the end of Black Panther. Going forward from that, Infinity War, he got zapped away with a snap, came back, and he led the most amazing scene ever put on television or movies when he was the first person coming out of the portal and chanting the chants. I can't even say it again. It's so freaking dope. So that's kind of where we left things. And then sadly, in real life, we lost Chadwick Boseman, of course, to cancer so freaking suddenly. Now, we're going into Black Panther 2. It's going to first address the loss of Chadwick Boseman. It's going to take place 1 year after the events of T'Challa's death. We don't know how he dies in the MCU yet, but what are you hoping they do with his death?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Right?
I I don't know. It's a very tough question. I kind of hope that I don't know story wise what I'm hoping for, but I hope that whatever it does, it's kind of a wink and a nod to Chadwick Boseman himself, and that they kind of explain that his death is more meaningful than just the death of this one guy. It was more than just a hero in one place. Like he's a hero for an entire people. Like he's
Yeah.
a champion for the lesser, the people that are underheard and stuff. I kind of hope that they explore that a little bit, but they also don't need to make the movie lean entirely on it, but that they're very respectful with the mourning process within this movie. I think that's vital.
Yeah. I hope they like literally just say T'Challa died of cancer. Like, let's just tell the truth. And that because I mean it could take just anybody. And it doesn't matter how strong you are, it doesn't matter, T'Challa, he took the herb to become stronger. It could take anybody. And so let's tell it like it is, and then it's a good way to kind of so this movie, what this movie has to do is address mourning in the Marvel universe because we've lost so many people in the Marvel universe. The most notably is Iron Man, and we had that shot of his little funeral and stuff like that, and that just broke all of us while we are watching it in theaters, right? And then in Spider-Man: Far From Home is a little bit of like one character mourning another character. But it was kind of lost a little bit in that. I think they need to use this movie to really kind of address what does mourning look like and how fragile we all can be with cancer is just I mean it could be out for anybody. Um I would like for them to really try to take things serious. They do say in their like little synopsis is that Sherry, after even a year, is still not healing from his death. That happens to so many people in real life. What a great time to address that, you know?
Yeah, dealing with the stages of grief in a real way. And the major difference between like the death of Iron Man and the death of Black Panther is the real life death of the actor that portrayed him. So
Yeah.
us as fans, when we see that Iron Man died in the movie, it's like, well, there's multiple universes now, there's multiple timelines, and
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. is still probably willing to put the boots on one more time for a
Yeah.
cameo. We don't get that as fans of Chadwick Boseman to see him again like that. So I kind of hope that they also allow us as the fans to be able to mourn the passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. I really hope so. And if you guys want, like, the last performance of T'Challa, of Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, is in the What Ifs. Have you had a chance to watch those?
Oh yeah, hell yeah! I watched them as they were
So
airing.
good. Yeah.
Freaking fantastic. And the T'Challa episodes were the best ones,
Yep.
like for sure.
Yeah. It is in this version, T'Challa actually becomes Star Lord and turns the Ravagers into like this paladin group saving people all the time. And it's just like, oh, he's that freaking good.
Yep. He
So
talked Thanos down.
yeah, Thanos is part of the team. Good
Yeah,
call.
he
I
was a
totally forgot
Ravager
about
with
that.
it. Oh, it's so good.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I really I have heavy expectations with that. I really want them to take their time. In all of the preamble that we've been seeing out of like Ryan Coogler, the director, and a lot of the cast is just how important T'Challa's legacy and Chadwick Boseman's legacy is going forward. And then with the rest of the story, of course, I want them to use that to kind of expand from, because that's one key thing with T'Challa is he's a king first and a hero second, and he has to represent his people. He has to make sure that they're safe and that they're represented and everything like that. Well, he's gonna be going against Namor, who has to do the exact same thing, and he has a tuna the entire time. He has to, his brother. He has to make sure it doesn't like Game of Thrones him out of his freaking chair. So he has that going on. And of course, big prediction here: we're gonna see Doctor Doom at some point, and maybe at the very tail end or something like that. But Doctor Doom is also protecting his country and da da da. I love a hero like that. Somebody who's like, my first priority is my people, then I'll be a hero for everybody else. Um, that's complex heroes, bro. Let's see them. I think that's really cool.
Heck yeah.
Any hopes or predictions out of this out of Wakanda Forever?
Uh, no, I try to go in as blind as possible to any of these movies.
Oh, way to
Uh,
do it. Yeah.
yeah, it helps not having much of a knowledge of Marvel as a whole. So no, I don't have I, I yeah, no hopes, no predictions. I'm just hoping that the movie's gonna be good, and I'm sure it will be.
Oh yeah. I think that's the way to do it. I wish I was more like you because I get to where I over like watch things and read up on things, blah 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 blah. To where now when I go in, and I think a lot of Marvel fans are doing this, and it's to the detriment of MCU. I go in with like, if I don't see Doctor Doom, then this thing's a failure. Like that's not fair.
Yeah, Star Wars killed that for me, so I don't do that with Marvel.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh boy, that. But when they cloned Palpatine, I mean, they did that to themselves. There's nobody could
Yeah.
have forced them to do that except for them. And yeah, so I think a lot of fans, including if you're listening to this podcast about us talking about deep dives on Marvel, you're one of them that might be looking too much into T'Challa. And I think we need to go in with just like, hey, did I have fun with this? Which is how I went in with Thor, and I think that helped me a lot.
Yes,
Um,
entirely. Yeah.
did I have fun? Yes, no, okay, there we go. That's how I went in with Black Adam too, and hey, the answer was no. But what are you gonna do?